Hello everyone, and welcome to another animated look back. Sometimes I feel like American Tail is an experiment from Don Bluths to see how many times he can break your heart in 80 minutes. Now, obviously I am joking, but American Tail has that Don Bluths style written all over it. It needs to scare you, make you depressed, but then before you lose all hope in humanity completely, hit you with the happiest ending possible. Dang it, Don Bluths, this is why there's so many bipolar people in the world right now, because when you hit them with every feeling at once, people don't know how to feel! Okay, not really, but anyways, American Tail is a story that involves a family of Russian Jewish mice who immigrate to America where they believe there are no cats. Along the way, the young mouse Feifel gets separated from his family and spends the rest of the film trying to find them while accidentally getting wrapped up in a bunch of different adventures. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about when talking about American Tail is the absolute balls that Don Bluth had to make a film like this. Because Don Bluth just goes where Disney would not. Okay, that's just what he does. He goes to the dark places that no other animated studio would dare to go. At that time, at least. Now, this movie came out the same year as, ironically, The Great Mouse Detective. Now, I don't want to get into a debate of which one of those movies is better, because I enjoy both of those. But, even though The Great Mouse Detective has some scary scenes, being scary is not the same as being dark. This movie opens up with the Cossacks riding through the village square in an anti-Jewish arson attack, and also their cats are attacking the village mice. I mean, we literally see people getting shot in this movie! Dang it, Don Bluth, way to ease us in! But it doesn't just stop there. There is a scene where some of the characters are having a conversation right in front of a mouse's corpse. I mean, say what you will about Disney and how their movies have messed you up as a child, but I don't think they would have done that. Disney shows all of their dark moments off screen, you know? We don't see Bambi's mother getting shot. We hear about it, but we don't see it. Don Bluth, on the other hand, he would have followed the bullet going through her body if he could. Don Bluth doesn't hide the dark moments, he shows it to you. Honestly, I think Don Bluth is at his best when he tries to be different from Disney. We saw later in his career him being forced to do some more childish movies, and it never felt like a good fit for the man. Here, he's right in his wheelhouse. Dark and scary, but with a happy ending. Not to say that American Tail doesn't have a lot of similarities to Disney movies, because let's be honest, the world itself could basically be the same world as The Rescuers or The Great Mouse Detective. It's the exact same thing. But, of course, Don Bluth puts his own unique spin on it. Now, when it comes to the animation, I think that it's good for the times. I mean, at the very least for what they were given to work with. But there are some things that, like, I kind of have a problem. Like, for one thing, Don Bluth has these nice painted backgrounds whenever he needs to do a shot of the city and whatnot. And for the most part, they look really nice. But sometimes you'll get a scene where, if you look at it closely, you can just see those people aren't moving. That is just a painted background with some moving animation in front of it. Now, it isn't usually much of a problem, but it is a place where the film is showing its age. You know, it's kind of funny because looking back, I used to find this movie really scary, you know, especially in the beginning part where the cats are trying to get all the mice. That I was like super afraid of. But looking at it now, I can't be scared. I just find myself laughing at the cats with the mustaches and the Russian hats. Scary, that's hilarious! But another thing that I didn't notice as a kid, but it really stuck out to me now, is that when it comes to the sound effects of the cats, they all sound like roaring lions!
Go away, cats, go away!
I mean, Dom, you do remember that these are cats, right? Why do they all sound like the MGM logo? But then again, I guess it wouldn't be as scary if they just sounded like cats, but it would sound hilarious, so here you go! But for the most part, I would just say the animation is basically okay, but it does have some high points. I mean, for one thing, the Statue of Liberty looks amazing. I love how they give it a really cool look. And I also love the Mouse of Minx at the end, because it is legitimately terrifying, but you aren't scared as a kid because you know it's on your side. And that's what I love about it.
It's the giant mouse of Minx!
Oh, you're right.
But it wouldn't be a Don Bluth movie without a few scenes that just left me pretty confused. And so, for this movie, the question that I have to ask is, why is Poseidon trying to kill Fievel? Okay, I get making the storm scary and everything, but this is just really weird. Adding the shape of a sea, man, monster, whatever, it raises so many questions. Like, is this part of Fievel's imagination, or is there an actual god of the sea that really wants to kill this mouse?
I am lactose intolerant, so if I can't eat cheese, no one can eat cheese.
And it's just a little odd. I mean, at least with Disney, when they would do trippy things like this, they would give a reason to, you know? They would open a genie or get Dumbo drunk, you know? The regular things that we all think of. Here it just happens and then it's over with no explanation. Now, I wouldn't say that it's terrible, but it doesn't really help the audience to know what type of world they're in, you know? Like, for example, in the movie Ratatouille, we had the ghost of the chef come and speak to our main character. Now, I would have a problem with this if they didn't explicitly say in the movie that he was a figment of his imagination. Now, if they didn't say that, I would ask, well, why is the spirit talking to this individual rat? Is this a punishment? Wait, but the humans can't understand the rats, but you can after you died? What? That doesn't make sense. But I don't have to ask any of those questions, because they tell me it's part of his imagination. Good. But here, Don Bluth doesn't like over-explaining things, so stuff like that happens when there's no reason to. I mean, they could have just animated a big storm and no one would have been like, you know what, this scene needs Poseidon trying to kill him. Or he could have worked to make it look more like it was from his imagination that a monster was controlling the storm and was after him. Now, I think that's what he was going for, but the way it looks, it really just looks like the God of Sea really hates this mouse. But overall, the animation still holds up, although I do wish that we could have seen what Don Bluth would have done without a limited budget. He made this movie on a $9 million budget. Now, to put that in perspective, Disney was underfunding their animation team at the time, and yet even The Great Mouse Detective had $14 million to work with. So yeah, $9 million isn't all that much, but hey, the man is a wizard of making a lot out of very little. But hey, speaking of Disney, which I actually done a lot in this review, I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but this was around the time where people were still all trying to rip off Disney, so of course, what do you have to do? You gotta make your film a musical. Da, da, da. Gotta do the songs, gotta do the things, even if it don't make sense. Da, 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 da. Yeah, and you know what? Looking back, I was actually surprised how many songs there were in this film, but also how good most of them were. I mean, when it comes to this movie, the one that everyone remembers is There Are No Cats in America.
But there are no cats in America, and the streets are paved with cheese. No, there are no cats in America, so set your mind at ease.
This is a really fun song. It has a nice melody, and it's really fun to watch, even though if you take a close look at it, it can get really dark at times.
In a flash of teeth and fur, her tail was all he left of her. 'Neath the heather is wedded to Rallura lie.
This is Don Bluth in a nutshell. Go as dark as you can, but wrap it with a happy little bow. There is also the song Somewhere Out There, and I like this song. For one reason, it is nice how both Fievel and his sister are singing about hope of finding each other again. But the thing that I really like about this song is the kids singing it, they sound like actual kids.
Somewhere out there, beneath the pale moonlight.
You know, it isn't perfect, it isn't super polished like a Disney film would make it, and that ironically makes it even sadder, because, you know, it's just kids singing their hearts out, not worrying about whether they have the perfect pitch. It just sounds like these kids are praying that they're going to see each other one day. Honestly, if it was super polished, I don't think it would have been as good, because it wouldn't have felt as emotional. The Never Say Never song is a good one to have after you just emotionally had your heart ripped out of you for seeing Feifel taken away from his parents. I mean, that's the song you need to get you upbeat into the movie and get you feeling like, okay, maybe he will find his parents again.
Keep up your courage, don't ever despair. Take heart and then count to 10. Hope for the best, work for the rest, and never say never again.
And then there is the duo song. Yeah, how do I put this? I mean, I get that it's supposed to be cute, but Dom DeLuise doesn't have a great singing voice. And because of that, it doesn't make it catchy and doesn't really make it all that memorable. I mean, it has some interesting lighting and effects, but he just can't carry a tune. I mean, this song is kind of like A Friend Like Me if Robin Williams couldn't sing.
Anytime you're feeling glum, count on me to be a chum.
If you get an itch attack, I'll be there to scratch your back.
Now, who could ever ask for more?
But for the most part, the songs are alright and keep you having fun throughout the film. I wish that we were able to use the songs to dive into how our characters are feeling more. The only one that really does that is, Somewhere Out There. That's the only one that gets into how the characters are feeling. A lot of them are just what they're hoping or what they're thinking. But I will say that because of that, the songs do lack a little bit of the polish that the Disney films would have. But overall, I would say that they're good songs. I don't even find them annoying. Even Duo, which I don't think is all that good, I never find annoying. I'm never like, oh my gosh, there's this stupid song. It's just like, oh, okay, whatever. So yeah, I wouldn't call them the best songs ever, but I wouldn't call them bad. Now, taking a look at the story itself, there is really a lot to like. I like how Feifel's family is Jewish. I mean, this wasn't something that I ever really had seen before. And it starts with a Hanukkah celebration. In fact, I think this was the first time I ever really learned about Hanukkah was watching this film. So good on you for doing that. I like how, to its core, this story is about a family immigrating to America and how it isn't what they thought it was going to be. Papa Moskowitz talks all the time about how great America is going to be and how amazing it is and how there's no cats there.
In America, there are breadcrumbs on every floor.
You're talking nonsense.
In America, you can say anything you want.
Well, Papa, you were right about there being crumbs all over the floor, but you're wrong about being able to say anything you want. I mean, you can, you just might not have a job after you do. But of course, after they get into America, it isn't the wonderland they thought it was.
Well, mister, there are no whats in America?
Cats.
I really like how it handles this. This is like how immigrants who came to America thought things were going to be until they arrived and found a country that didn't always accept them and was a lot more hostile to people who weren't born in America. Yeah, I'm so glad immigrants don't have to worry about anything like that these days. Oh, wait. But while the land was still rough and hard, it was still the land of opportunity. And I like that. You know, the movie isn't like a pro-America is so great, it's the greatest thing ever sort of message, but it still shows how, hey, they still had opportunities and things here that they weren't able to get in their home country. It kind of shows the pros and cons very well. Now, it had been a while since I'd seen this movie, so looking back, you might ask if I spotted any problems with the film that I didn't notice before. Well, yeah, one big one. I didn't notice this as a kid, but as an adult, it's very blatant. See, I didn't realize how fast this movie's pacing was. Now, it doesn't start that way. I mean, the movie actually takes its time in the beginning, letting you feel the characters out and sympathize with them and what they're going through. But as soon as Feifel leaves the Statue of Liberty, the movie is like on ludicrous speed. I mean, just look at the scene where he runs into Warranty Rat. Now, this is the scene where the rat wants to sell Feifel to the workhouse, so he has to trick him into coming with him. So I'm thinking, what lie is he going to use? What masterful deceit is he going to use? How is he going to play into Feifel's wants and desires in order to get him to come with him? So what does he do?
I'm looking for my family.
Hey, you come to the right fella, kid. I know exactly where they are. Come with me.
But Army said I'd find them here.
Have it your way, kid.
I mean, he doesn't even say anything other than, yeah, I know where they are, let's go. I mean, he doesn't know Fievel's name. He doesn't know the Mousequitz's name. He just says, I know where they are, let's go. How would he know where they are? You know, Fievel should ask some really big questions there. Now, for me, it makes two things happen. One, it makes a villain lazy, that he's too stupid or lazy just to make up a good lie. And two, it makes Fievel look really gullible. Now, this isn't so bad because, you know, he's a kid desperately looking for his family, so it's understandable that he's a little naive. But if they just had Warren T. Rat, like, play along a little bit, like, oh, you're looking for your family, huh? Well, what's your name, kid? Mousequitz, I know the Mousequitz. I saw him just a few minutes ago. I'll take you to their block. Come on, kid, come with me. That would have been all you needed. You do that, and you would have had Warren T. Rat look more villainous, and Fievel wouldn't have looked so gullible. As it stands, it makes Fievel look like the kid that would get in the back of a van if the person said he had candy. But that isn't the only scene that is rushed. I mean, look at this one, where Warren T. Rat sells Fievel to the workhouse.
You're mine. Now get to work. You, what are you looking at? Back to work.
We don't even see him work in the workhouse. We just skip over it. Now, apparently there was supposed to be a song here, but because of the budget, they actually had to cut it. But I feel like in order to sympathize and feel for Fievel and what he's going through, we actually have to see what he's going through. And a lot of the last act is just rushing around through scenes and sometimes a little clumsily. I mean, take the scene where Fievel meets Tony. I mean, he meets this guy and he's like, hey, we'll team up, come along with me. And Tony's the one who gives him his new name.
Put it there, Fievel. Fievel Mousequitz.
Fievel? Ooh, that name's gotta go. Hey, I'll tell you what, Philly.
Philly?
Yeah, fits you perfect.
Yeah, Philly! It's a female horse. It fits you perfectly. But for some reason, after they escape from the workhouse, Fievel just leaves him behind and runs away. And then later, when they meet up again in the film, he never wants to leave his side. So it's just like, why would he leave the first time? If they wanted to do this scene right and have it make sense, they should have had somebody see them trying to escape, and then they had to run away and split up, and then they met again later in the film. That would have at least made sense if you wanted them to split up, but for right now, Fievel runs away for no reason. There are also a few other scenes that I could really point to them rushing, like Tony and Bridget falling in love at first sight. I am an activist against cats, and I'm really trying to spread my message right now, but you give me one flower and I'm yours! Tony and Fievel are being late for something so they can run for no reason other than Fievel to fall behind and get captured. Oh, by the way, one thing that really bothered me about this scene, when do pocket watches have alarms? But one of the biggest examples of this is when Tiger lets Fievel go and he runs away for the second time. I mean, just take a look at this.
Wait, Tiger, how did he get away? He overpowered me.
You're fired.
Good. I'm glad. I never liked you. And besides, your music stinks.
I mean, we are watching Fievel running, but we are hearing Tiger quitting the gang. I mean, these are two different scenes. These are two different scenes. We should either see Fievel run away, see Tiger quit the gang, then go back to Fievel running, but it's like they didn't have the time or animation budget to do it, so they just threw the audio over it so we could hear Tiger quitting because we know he's not a bad cat. It just doesn't really match up. But the thing that makes up for some of the fast-paced scenes is the characters. And let's start with the one that has the least amount of screen time, Don DeLuise's Tiger.
I got it. I got it! Rummy!
Tiger, for the 100th time, we're playing poker.
I knew that.
Tiger is a lot of fun. I mean, for a character who only shows up in the final act, he really almost steals the show. He is fun, energetic. I mean, Don just has the perfect voice for animation and is bursting with personality. And it's just pleasant to listen to.
That's terrible. You know, I lost my family too. Years ago, I mean. 8 brothers, 10 sisters, 3 fathers.
And Tiger is just the character this film needed to show that not all cats are terrible. I think if you didn't have Tiger in this film, most kids afterwards would hate cats. I just wish there was a way that you could have included him into the film a lot sooner. But honestly, I really don't know if there's any way you could have done that without it feeling really forced. But anyway, it's better to have a little bit of Dom DeLuise in your movie than none at all. Honestly, I think he makes the film better, even though he's not in it all that much. I mean, think about it. If you haven't seen this movie in a long time, what were the things that you remembered about this movie? You remembered Fievel, you remembered Tiger, and that was the main ones.
Don't make any funny moves, because I'm crafty, and I'm quick. I have the instinct of a cat. What am I saying? I am a cat.
Whenever I get to look back at old movies like this, one of the things that I love doing is finding voices who were played by actors that I didn't expect to find. And for this movie, I found two. The first one is Henry the Pigeon, played by Christopher Plummer.
All of that is also America. This is just an island at the doorway where I, Henri the Pigeon, am putting up my statue.
This is another character who doesn't really have a lot to do other than sing a song, but it is still a nice inclusion. However, side note, for one thing that really bothered me as a kid when they said that Henry was the one that built the Statue of Liberty, I'm like, you're a bird! It would take 1 billion years if you did it. But anyway, that just confused me as a kid. However, I do like how the Statue of Liberty is the first thing that Fievel sees when he comes to America. Even if the Statue of Liberty wasn't finished yet, that was a thing that has greeted many immigrants to America. And also in this movie, we got Madeline Kahn, who plays Gussie, the rich mouse. Now, she's the one that gets the ball rolling on fighting back against the cats. And I really love the symbolism that this film has with her character and the one called Honest John, because there is a lot of fun jabs that it does at the rich and powerful.
Would you care for a wee drop of the creature?
Today was the worst ever. Those cats are killing everyone. They don't even know the difference between rich and poor. The wretches.
Oh, shameful.
For one thing, we can see the mayor, Honest John, gathering votes by actually taking votes from dead mice. So he's crooked, he's corrupt, and he's on our side. And we only see the rich mouse get involved with fighting back against the cats when it starts affecting her. And I really love the symbolism of that, of how sometimes the powerful and the rich only really change the world for the better when it still makes their lives better. Now, I've already talked about the villain for a bit, but while I think he works for the story, I still think he's kind of weak. He isn't all that intimidating or diabolical. He really isn't in the movie all that much. However, I do like he's a cat that pretends to be a rat, and I do like that, and I didn't mean to rhyme that much. Anyways... But I also like how he's using the poor to get himself richer. You know, he's the guy that is using those beneath him to get himself more power and money and stuff like that. So that's why I say he still works as a villain. I just don't think he's all that intimidating. Then there is Tony, who plays the tough street kid. I remember loving Tony as a kid because, you know, like... he's basically a teenager, and for me to have a teenager want to hang out with a kid, that was like the coolest thing ever.
Pardon the expression, but you look like something the cat dragged in, you know?
But he is funny and cool and has a great voice. A voice that, ironically enough, comes from a woman, Pat Muzik. I mean, thinking about it now, I'm not all that surprised. I mean, if you really listen to the voice, you can kind of hear that it's more of a woman doing a guy voice. But if you told me that as a kid, my mind would have exploded. Now, next I want to talk about the other mouse quizzes. Now, the mom and baby characters really don't have all that much of a personality other than being a mom and a baby. But then we got his sister Tanya, and I gotta say, as a kid, it bothered me so much that they changed her name from Tanya to Tilly. I'm like, that's not your name, it's her name. She decides if she wants to change it or not you! But I like that she's the one that keeps on believing that Fievel could still be alive, you know? Mostly because she's a child. She hasn't been exposed to the cruel world like her parents. And so she's more hopeful. I also love how they animate and characterize Fievel's papa. He is a great character because he's bustling, full of life, and really loves his family and wants to give his kids the best he can and really believes in the dream of America.
Where we don't have to worry about cats anymore. There are no cats in America. But back home in Mother Russia...
But when he loses Fievel, he goes such into a sad depression, always having his head down, and sometimes even forgetting that Fievel isn't with them.
Which? How many?
5. Oh, I mean 4.
Okay, next.
And of course, Don Bluths just loves making them so close to meeting each other, but just missing each other, making you yell, "To the left! To the left! Everything you love is right to the left!" But that just makes you all the more happier when they finally embrace at the end.
Fievel, I knew you were alive. I knew it.
Oh, my little boy back from the dead. America. What a place.
Yes, there truly is a miracle that you found Fievel. But where is your baby? How are you guys so bad at keeping track of your kids? And that leads us to Fievel himself. Now, this is a kid character who is really well handled. You know, you feel like he is a kid, but you're also with him throughout his journey. We can see right from the start that he's a brave kid. You know, when the cat's attacked, he doesn't hide. He tries to run out and scare them away. But we can also see through that he's a little naive, because that obviously doesn't work and he's nearly killed because of it. We also see that he's a very curious mouse and wanders off a lot in the beginning. But the most important thing is that we never forget that he's still a kid, you know? He's still sad and scared and angry at times.
You're right. They don't care. And if they did, they would have found me. Well, if they don't care, I don't care. I don't care if I never see them again.
Yeah, you're nothing. You're junk. You're trash.
There's a moment where Tony tells him, "Hey, stick with me, I'll look after you," and he just can't help but hug him. That is both adorable and sad.
Stick with me, okay? Hey! What, we engaged or something?
Fievel's voice actor is Philip Glasser, and this was actually his first voice acting role, as he had done only commercials at the time, and he does a great job. We believe his voice whenever he is happy, sad, angry, unsure, confident, or even coming up with a plan.
I wish we had that mouse with the long hair. She could drop her hair out the window and we can all climb down.
Sure, out the window.
Oh, fairy tale.
Wait a minute, this kid may have something.
Also, on a side note, I like how all of his plans are based off of the stories that his papa told him. Like, like he figures out how to get out of the workhouse by remembering the story of, what was it, Rapunzel? Or was it just Rapunzel? I don't know. Either way. Or he figures out to do the Mouse of Minx thing to get all the cats scared away by the other story that his father told him. And they use the Mouse of Minx to send away all the bad cats. Well, as many as they could animate in this one scene. But the best part about Fievel is I'm always with him on his journey. I mean, he is sad, but he's not a downer. He gets really joyful and happy, but he's not annoying. He gets overconfident, but I admire his bravery instead of thinking he's very stupid. Now, there are a few scenes that I 100% don't like, but okay, let's get into those right now. The reason Fievel gets thrown off of the boat is because he wants to see fish, so he goes out in the middle of a storm to see fish, even though there are fish right in front of you!
Fish.
Fievel!
I'm getting my hat, Papa.
He even throws his hat that his father gave him on the deck as an excuse to go out there. Now, I don't like this for a couple of reasons. One, there are already fish on the boat! You can see them right there! And two, it's because, I think it would have played better if the wind actually did pick up his hat and take it onto the deck, Maybe if they included a scene earlier where Fievel, his father, was very strict with him and told him, don't lose this hat. My father gave it to me, his father gave it to him. This is in your generations. You gotta take care of this hat. Be responsible. And loses his hat, so he goes off and get it. And that would also make his dad feel even more sadder, because he would feel like he lost Fievel because he was too strict. I think that would have played better, but for right now, he just takes off his hat and throws it on to see fish, even though there's fish in the boat. There's fish in the boat. There's fish in the boat. Anyway, moving on. But honestly, that scene and him running away from Tony for no reason are the only scenes that I really have a problem with his character. Everything else about his character is great. Overall, American Tail is a film that has aged a bit. The animation has come a long way since this, and the film's pace is all over the place, but it has the things you need for a good animated film. It has a main character who you sympathize with, a bunch of different fun characters who he interacts with, some fun songs, and a fun climax that will leave you on the edge of your seat and then crying from sadness and then crying from happiness. Dang it, Don Bluth, just pick one emotion at a time! So I'm going to be giving American Tail a 7 out of 10. It's a good movie. Honestly, I'm a little surprised that I'm not giving it a higher rating because I really thought it was going to be, higher in my mind, but I think that's because when I watched it as a kid, I didn't pick up on stuff like pacing issues. For now, I'd say it's a good movie. Still holds up after all this time. But anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to join me on my next animated look back where I review Shark Tale. Oh, Lord have mercy on my soul. Thanks for watching. Pray for me, please.